little video on training in light of experience. So many times we talk about training with training age and what is an appropriate program, or what do you need to focus on the most when you're an experienced lifter versus an experienced lifter. And maybe this will be helpful for some of you. I always think of this term. I'm sure somebody else said it before I did, but the simpler the athlete or individual, the simpler the program. The simpler the athlete or the individual, the more simplistic the exercise selection should be. Okay, so what I mean by that is if you're just starting out, you don't need these elaborate programs. There are so many resistance training programs out there, and they probably all work to some degree if they have one magic variable, which is progressive overload. But if you're just starting out, select very simple exercises. You can organize your training program in a very simplistic manner, meaning vertical pull, vertical push, horizontal pull, horizontal push, knee dominant leg exercises, lower extremity, and hip dominant. So like a deadlift variant. I wouldn't deadlift just yet if you're just starting out. Knee dominant could be like a leg press or squat if you can do it correctly. But there's lots of squat variants, including single leg. And then your horizontal movements, pushing like a bench. That can be on a machine, by the way. Remember, you don't need complicated exercise. You just need to move. Horizontal pulling could be a row on a machine or dumbbell. If you can do it right, you can stabilize properly. Overhead pressing could be a machine again. Vertical pressing, overhead pressing movement. It could be dumbbells if you can stabilize them. And then pulling could be a lat pull down, okay, or a pull-up machine. Simplistic exercises, meaning take away a lot of the stability issues that are needed in order to accomplish the task. So a back squat, again, requires a lot of coordination in order to do that. That may not be appropriate for your first time. In fact, you don't need that kind of stimulus initially to start. Now, the more complicated, so backwards, the simple athlete, simple individual just needs simple exercises. They need to learn how to do them. Doing the exercises properly. So as a coach, I spend most of my time with newbies doing things properly, technical pieces. And if I do my job, then over time, the technical piece goes away. It becomes less. There might be some reminders and some things like that, but smaller pieces. Over time, the stimulus is more of an issue. Now I'm going to move into more advanced training models. You don't need to jump into an advanced training model is what I'm getting at if you're a newbie. If your training age is very young, you need to learn how to do the exercises properly. On the other side, of course, the more advanced you are, just as I mentioned, you're going to need more of a program that is going to require more stimulus. More stimulus means more fatigue. More fatigue means more fatigue management. That's when you start incorporating deload weeks. You have all these different periodization models, all these different types of things. You probably have climbed the technical tree, and maybe you can do some more advanced exercises by now, like a back squat, potentially, or deadlift, or whatever that you think is appropriate for your goals. Okay, this may seem like a bit of a silly video. Like, well, of course, we wouldn't do these things, but I see this done quite often, where a very an advanced program is picked up in order to accomplish a beginner's goals. And in advanced people, they continue to use the same beginning program, get frustrated because they're not seeing results, not understanding they're using a beginning program or even an intermediate program, and they've exceeded that intermediate program, whether it be in the amount of volume that they're doing, the stimulus is too low, or the fatigue that they're accumulating is too high, like doing a just straight up ramp. You can't do it anymore, so you get frustrated because you're getting tired and you pick up some injuries. And it's because you can't ramp anymore. You have to do a more thoughtful approach to your programming. Okay, start rotating exercises. So do variants of exercise. If you get tired of dumbbell row and you're not seeing results, do a variant of dumbbell row even. Okay, you could do a post-delt dominant dumbbell row or a supine grip dumbbell row. I mean, there are so many ways to do this. You could get on a machine and do a seated cable row, with the elbow still in the same rough position, but now you're challenging the musculature in a different way. So be thoughtful about where you are. Don't be in terms of your ego get you into trouble. I need this really complicated powerlifting program when you've only been lifting for 2 weeks. You just need a beginner's program. Get in the gym, stay safe, stay on the machines. You'll see progress. Again, if you're an advanced athlete, you may need to get off the machines. You need to start pushing yourself in terms of exercise selection, and you need to start looking at the stimulus that you're needing in order to see continued results, that you've just entered a maintenance phase, and in fact you need to push the stimulus. That's going to require more thoughtful programming. Both cases might require a coach. One, to teach you how to do the exercises, and write a basic program for you to get started. And then on the other side, a coach might be needed in order to help push your programming, make it more complex, and provide more exercise variety that makes sense for your goals. So just something to keep in mind. All right, just wanted to release a little video on the importance of understanding where you are before you start a training program, and then selecting the right training program and having the right goals, whether that be technical proficiency at first, or as you get more advanced, looking at rotating exercises and variety in exercises, and then managing the stimulus that's needed in order to see continued gains using deloads or some of these periodization models.